Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host, Jamie, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Storytime Society. I love you. And this episode is themed bad dads. I know we've had a bad dads episode again. Sometimes I'm going to recycle, a little bit, not stories, but like recycle the themes. So, hope you don't mind. Anyways, the first story is titled My POS Dad Slept with My Wife and Got Her Pregnant a Long Time Ago. I had a shit show birthday with a few close friends at my own house. At the end of the party, everyone left. My dad told me that he needed to confess something that was killing him inside. I said, sure. He first started off saying that he did a lot of wrong to me and my wife. He hoped that I could forgive him. I was confused as to what he was talking about. I asked what he did that he needed my forgiveness for. He said to me that when I was on a business trip, he invited my wife. My wife and dad got together one day, and they ended up doing the thing that led my wife to carrying his baby. I just responded, what the F? Is this a joke? He told me that he was being serious and not lying to me. I still couldn't believe what I was hearing. He kept going on and on, saying that the baby didn't survive, and I couldn't bear to hear it, so I just said, stop the BS, and told him to leave my house. I physically pushed him out of my house, and I went directly to my bedroom. My wife wasn't at my birthday party at all, as she was hanging out with her girls. We were planning to go out for a date night later, but it's not going to happen. My wife doesn't know that my dad confessed to me about their affair. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to look at my wife and ask if this was true or not. After some time, I went downstairs again to check the front door, and my dad was still waiting in his car. He was just staring at his steering wheel, crying. I really wanted him to go away. I wanted to say something, but I couldn't because I didn't trust myself to not do something cruel. My wife still hasn't come yet, and I'm writing this. Thanks, POS Dad, for giving me the best gift ever. I needed it. You're the best dad ever. I mean, what the hell is wrong with people, actually? That's actually insane. And the fact that no one knew, or the fact that he that she'd never told him that is crazy. I mean, I'm sure she was so happy that she ended up losing the baby. Actually, I don't know if that's kind of messed up to say, but I feel like she probably was, right? Because what would she have done? She would have just been like, actually, yeah, this is your baby. We're pregnant. And then what? That baby gets born and it's raised thinking that that's his grandfather, but that's really his dad. That's insane behavior. Let's read some comments. I don't know how parents can be this cruel to their own children. What the F is wrong with people? F them both. They betrayed you in so many ways. Wishing you the best, OP, and that you can move past this. This is the second post I've seen in 24 hours about someone's significant other effing their parent in laws. Divorce is the only option. Jesus. Someone said 7 billion people in the world. Hopefully it's the only two people. It's the only two that happened in 24 hours, but reality is harsh. Maybe I should look into marital law as a career. Isn't there over 8 billion people in the world now? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is over 8 billion people in the world now, right? That's insane. How many billions of people are going to be on this earth before it actually explodes? Because I can't even grasp that many people. Someone said because they are lying and it's not real. I mean, like I always say, even if it is a lie, Lord knows this happens in real life. So we know that even if it didn't happen to this person, it happened to someone. Someone said, you call your dad POS, and what about your wife? Unless your father essayed her, she's just as guilty. T says, because we always, I mean, obviously it's the dad, so it's like, what the hell? But also the wife as well has just as much loyalty as the dad does, if not more. So I do hate that though. It's always F the person that they cheated with and then not F that person that actually did the cheating. But in this situation, in this scenario, I think it's equally as messed up, in my opinion. Okay, the title of the next story is Am I the asshole for telling my dad's mistress I don't care about their possible deaths? My parents' marriage ended just over a year ago after my mom learned that my dad was having an affair. My dad and his mistress had been together for about 6 years by then, and my dad was less concerned about my mom finding out because my older siblings were out of the house and I, 18 female, was almost grown. I think he wanted her to know about the affair. To me and my siblings, it looked like he hated my mom. And from the way he talked, it seemed as though he resented her for being happy with him. We all turned our backs on Dad when we found out that he tried to fight it. He spoke when we found out, and he tried to fight it. He spoke to us and said he loved us and that he was still our dad and he still wanted the best for us. None of us wanted the best for him. My brother told him he hoped the rest of his life was miserable. Weeks after my mom filed for divorce, my dad texted me and my siblings that his mistress was pregnant. He sent us a scan, but none of us were moved to get back in contact with him or to keep him in our lives. I live at home with my mom still, and I'm in community college. My siblings visit, but they live out of state now. A couple of weeks ago, my dad's mistress showed up at the coffee shop where I work and she tried to talk to me, but I stayed professional and informed her there was no personal conversation that could take place at work. She left, but came back when my shift was ending and she tried to talk to me as I walked home. I told her I had nothing to say to her. She wanted me to look at and meet her baby, but I walked away before she could get the baby out of the stroller. She showed up again a few days later and she did the same thing, only without the baby this time. She told me to think about how short life is and how our dad could die tomorrow and we would have to shut him out of our lives for no reason. I told her I don't care if they die. I told her they were sick and twisted and I was letting him go. That I didn't care about him or her or the baby they had together. And I said if she wanted her kid to be protected from the truth, then she better keep the kid away from me and my siblings because we wanted nothing to do with them and would not pretend to care just to make them happy. I said she needed to leave me alone or I'd make sure I went to the police about her stalking. When I got home, I had a random account DM me saying I was wrong to not care about people's deaths. Since she was the only person I said it to, I deleted it and moved on. But she told my dad's family and some of them told me I should still care about that, especially my dad and the baby because they're family. Another relative said the mistress hadn't done anything wrong to me or my family and didn't deserve to have it taken out on her when she owed my mom nothing. I brushed off what they said, but I guess it made me wonder if I was wrong to say it. Either way, I won't apologize, but I'll just ignore if she or dad tries again in the future. I mean, yeah, that's harsh for sure, but they should respect your boundaries and your decision to not want to have a relationship with them. That's really point blank, to be honest. And then the crazy thing to me is when people say that the mistress didn't do anything wrong. Like, they didn't owe you anything. Feel like, what do you mean? They don't owe anyone anything, okay? Does that mean that I don't owe anyone anything either? Does that mean I go around hitting people with my car? No. What? Like, sorry, I didn't owe your mom anything, so I hit her daughter with a car because why does it matter? What are you talking about? Yeah, maybe you don't owe anyone anything, but does that mean that's an excuse and you should go out and do shitty things when I don't know if she knowingly knew, but I'm assuming she did. Does that mean that you just go out and you go fuck people's husbands? No. What? I'm sorry. Who are you? Who who in the girl? I can understand why you did that because your family clearly is dumb as hell. Like, how about when you get cheated on, you let me know if you feel like that person doesn't owe you anything. Yeah, I don't think that a person owes me anything either, but does that give them a reason to think that it's right to go fuck my husband? No, not even in the slightest. That's like the most annoying thing, an excuse I've ever heard. That's a sad, sad excuse. Some of the comments. The mistress did nothing, in quotes. The affair lasted 6 years. She knew he was married. She's as responsible as him. Your dad apparently has his side of the family around, so he has nothing to complain about. He betrayed the whole family, not only your mom. Okay, so she did know he was married, which my reading comprehension went in one ear, went out the other. I need a PVC pipe to read into so that I can comprehend things better sometimes, as you know. But yeah, so that makes it even more fucked up. Like, I don't care about the owing someone anything. Like, I just don't understand that whole remark. It really makes no sense. Someone said, actions have consequences. Your father's wife was cruel to stalk you, and she set herself up for a conversation she wouldn't like. Maybe things will change in the future, or maybe they won't, but not the asshole. OP said, my feelings on not having a relationship definitely won't change. I have lost all respect for him, and I really don't care about her or their child. Blood doesn't mean as much to me as it might to others, and even though the kid didn't do anything wrong, I see them as any other random baby in the world, not family or someone I desperately want to have a relationship with. And you deserve to have your peace in your life, and I don't necessarily agree that blood doesn't mean as much. I think that I don't know. I feel like I just have a different perspective on that a little bit, but I do believe that if that blood is treating you or someone in your family like shit, I think you have all the right and all the reason to make the decision that you want to cut them out of your life, because there should never be like, I hate the saying as like people say, well, what if they died tomorrow? It's like, that does that mean I should keep a serial killer in my life? Because what if they died tomorrow? Like, if my mom was a serial killer, does that mean I should keep her in my life? Because what if she dies tomorrow and I might regret it? No. Obviously that's an extreme example, but you know what I mean. Like, if someone's a bad person doing bad things, and even if it's not directly to you, if it's something that you feel like is wrong and morally doesn't align with you, you have all the right to cut that person off, and you shouldn't feel guilty for that, unless of course you're cutting them off for a dumb stupid reason. But most of the time I don't think that people just cut people off for no reason. I think it's usually a valid reason, right? I don't know. Okay. The next story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Not Doing a Favor for My Dad and Telling Him I Don't Owe Him or His Favorite Wife and Kids favors? After our mom died, Dad told me and my siblings, 17 male, 16 female, and 14 male, that he was glad that part of his life was over and he was going to find someone he actually loved and wanted to be with, and we better be ready because he wasn't slowing down for us. This was 10 years ago. He met a few women before his wife of 9 years. They were together a few months before they got married, and she was pregnant right away. Dad said he knew she was the one. He was finally in love. That mom was his biggest regret in life. My sister would cry, which annoyed Dad. He'd say we should be happy for him and want him to be happy when he sacrificed his own happiness for us. He's a better dad to the kids he has with his wife. He's there on their birthdays, remembers to buy them gifts, takes them out for ice cream, or for special time with him. He comes home earlier to spend time with them before they go to bed and helps with their homework. He never did that with us, even after he started changing. My sister and brother for the longest time really wanted him to for the longest time. But I always knew he was a shit parent and that he wasn't going to change towards us. We always fought. He told me the three of us were born selfish, that we wanted him to be unhappy for our sakes. I told him he basically dumped his issues onto three grieving kids and didn't give an F about what that did to us. I reminded him that my brother was only 4 years old when we lost mom. Dad's Dad's response was that if I cared so much about them, I should care even more about my younger half siblings. I told him I didn't. I have told him that a few times since my first half sibling was born. In truth, I never spent any times with my halves or engaged with them. It's me and my brother and sister, and I put my time and love into them. My siblings have reached out to Dad and asked for him to love them and spend time with them, but his focus is on the family that he wants, his favorite family as I think of them. I don't think of them as mine. Dad's wife and one of his favorite kids had birthdays a day apart. His gift for one was delayed / late or whatever, and he wasn't going to pick both of them up on time, already a day late from one of them. So he asked me to do a favor for him and pick up one gift while he picked up the other. I said no. He told me I could do a favor for him since he's my dad, yada yada. I said no. The day came and went, and I didn't get it. He freaked out on me and told me I was going to ruin the birthday. He told me I could have done a favor for him as we're all family. I told him I don't owe him or his wife or his favorite kids any favors. I reminded him that he owed his kids being a good dad, and he wasn't to the three of us, so I'm not going to save his ass or do something that makes his favorite family happy because innocent or not, they're not my problem. He said I was such a child, and then he got my uncle to say how disappointed he was that I acted so petty. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. So I'm not really sure why you're talking to I mean, I guess you're only 17. So what? Are you living with him? still. Also, I'm actually very, very concerned that your mom died and he immediately was like, bye, I'm glad that part of my life is over. How about I'm gonna go find someone else and I'm not slowing down for you guys? I can just see how this next marriage is going to end. I mean, okay, you've been married for 9 years. Good for you. But I can just imagine that's something. What are you or wait, should I not say that? I feel like some people got mad at me because I said that sociopaths. What did I say? I don't know. I'm not educated on sociopaths, okay? But I, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But are you a sociopath? That's what I'm going to say. And don't get mad at me. Actually, you know what? I need to actually stop caring so much because I feel like I know that I am a nice person and I know that I don't mean things with malicious intent when I say things, especially on this podcast. Like, have I said things with malicious intent to people before? Yes, because sometimes people are motherfuckers and I'm going to stick up for myself, okay? Or if someone's being a dick to me, yeah, I'm going to say something with malicious intent towards them too, okay? But I do not typically say things with malicious intent or my opinions with malicious intent. And what really, sorry, this has nothing to do with this, but whatever. I'm going to continue because otherwise I'm going to forget. And I want to get this out. Obviously, I know that I'm going to get comments, and as I grow and as my YouTube channel grows, and by the way, I love you guys for subscribing. But, anyways, as my YouTube channel grows, I know that I'm going to get comments like this, and I know that I'm going to get annoyed by comments like this because they annoy me. And I rarely even get them, but when I do, it really pisses me off. And I shouldn't even be saying this because it's probably going to make like stupid people comment even more, people that are rude, because if they know that they can get under my skin, some people just like to do that and they'll do it for fun. But whatever, I'll just block you. So anyways, yeah, sometimes people will comment like being so rude about an opinion that I have when I'm sorry, I'm not a professional on first of all, I'm not a professional on anything actually. Like, I don't know if you count having a bachelor degree in elementary education and a minor in early childhood education a professional, but I wouldn't call myself that. And I would say that I'm knowledgeable in it, but I'm definitely not a professional in anything. And I'm sorry that my opinion isn't always the opinion that you agree with, but I just have to say that just because my opinion isn't exactly what yours is, or we don't have exactly the same opinion about something, which is crazy to expect because in what world does every person in this world, 8 billion people, do we all have the same opinions about things? I can tell you right now, no, because that's actually insane. Do I wish that everyone had the same opinions on certain things? Yes, but you can't have the same opinion on everything. And obviously, when more people start watching this, people are going to disagree with me. But to call me like icky, which I'm sorry if you're seeing this and you're the one who commented that, but it did bother me because I just because I have a different take on something, and I don't think that the way that I express my different takes is in any way malicious or meant to put those people down. And I was talking about open relationships and how I just don't really see how they work out because I've never experienced one. I of course I have some different perspective in my life because I've never truly experienced an open relationship and I've never witnessed an open relationship, and for me that seems very non-traditional. I'm a semi-traditional person. I don't know what you'd call me, but that seems very non traditional to me. It doesn't seem like to me that it would work out and create a healthy dynamic. That's my opinion. I'm sure there are times where that is true, and I'm sure there are times where that's not true. I'm not saying that my opinion is right and that you guys all need to think the same way. I'm saying do what is best for you and do what makes you happy, but I personally won't be choosing to be in an open relationship. And if my parents were in an open relationship, I do personally think that would have affected me in a negative way. And I'm sorry, but I'm not. going to apologize for feeling that way. And I don't think that is being rude to anyone. I think that is just saying the way that I feel about it. Now, obviously, if it's something hateful and I'm like, ew, I hate these people, or you, these types of people are disgusting, why are you doing that? You're nasty. And I'm like putting you down about it when I don't know anything about it because, as I say all the time, I am not a professional. Then, yeah, I think in that way, I'd be like, ew, that was gross. Why would you be so rude about that? But also, I'm an imperfect human being, as we all are. So, if you're going to nitpick everything that I say, goodbye. Seriously. I'm just like, it gets so annoying when people just nitpick everything, and it's like, okay, I understand that not all my takes you're going to agree with, but guess what? I bet you some people will agree with them. And that is the beauty of individuality and freedom of speech and being able to have an opinion in the world. You know what I mean? So, normalize having opinions of your own and not just having the same opinion as everyone else, or at the same time with peace and love and kindness. You know what I mean? Because there's obviously no reason to put people down for their choice of living their life. I'm just saying how I think it would personally affect me or how I personally would deal with something. Does that mean I disagree with your way of living? No. I don't. Unless you're hurting somebody and you're doing it in you're traumatizing your children because you're not going about it the right way. Is there a healthy way about going about it? I'm sure. But I'm sure a lot of people don't go about it in a healthy way. So that's all I have to say. And I love you. Sometimes when I'm like super negative and I rant like that, I feel like I need to balance it out by being nice. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, let's read some comments. Okay. This person said, not the asshole. Your dad is the biggest louse. I don't know what that means. Of the year. The idea that he thought to tell 3 grieving children that he was glad their mother died and now he could get on with his life and marry another was reprehensible. I wouldn't have done squat for him either. You and your siblings need to work to getting away from this monster and cut all contact as soon as you can. And then someone said that, OP, I'm sorry you all had to experience this. Your dad is an immature, selfish asshole that keeps rubbing rubbing in your faces that he will never be a good parent to you, but he will do the impossible for his younger children he fathered with his second wife. He isn't worth the effort nor forgiveness because he failed 3 vulnerable, grieving children so much. He isn't worth even being called your dad. Focus on planning for when you and your siblings become of age. He will probably not be too helpful or not helpful at all when you all need to go to college or figure out what to do after finishing high school. It's so sad that they're young because like I wish I could just be like, move out, go get your own life and stay away from this asshole, but unfortunately that's not the case, and that is just like the worst thing ever, especially because they lost their mom. And I really wish that like the mom or the stepmom was good, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Wait, who does she live with? Sorry guys, I don't know who she lives with. I don't think it's even in here. Or if it is, please tell me, because it seems like I thought they would live with them, but I don't see that. And it seems like they're saying they are reaching out to their kids, or the kids are reaching out to their dad asking for him to love them, but he's not. But like, are they living with him still? Interesting. Okay. I don't think that is even in here, but I don't know. I'm sorry. That's so upsetting and sad, and I really, obviously, I know you can't be a perfect parent, just as you can't be a perfect human being, but I just hope that I'm a good enough parent where I don't push all of this trauma onto my kids. And that is a huge reason why I feel like therapy is just such a big deal. And I just think it's so important to find a partner that is also willing to work on their trauma as well, because you don't want to traumatize your children. And just as you wouldn't want to traumatize your children, you need to make sure you're picking a partner that also wouldn't want to traumatize your children, and you're both going to do everything in your power to not traumatize your children. You know what I mean? Because I just, the way that it's passed down is really crazy because it's passed down for years and years and years. And even if we don't know why we're acting this way, a lot of it does have to do with the way that our ancestors acted, even if it's 70 years ago, even if it's 200 years ago. And it's like your bloodline just passed down something for generations, and that's so crazy to think about, truly. And that's why you need to find someone that's willing to work on themselves or willing to reflect on themselves and be self-aware of the problems that they have and the things that they need to work on. And yeah, it can be really scary because you're choosing a partner that you want to be able to raise your kids in the way that you want to raise them. And I know that the thing, sometimes you can't control the way that you act, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I get frustrated, and I immediately think afterwards, especially as I get older, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to get frustrated at my kid and like let my frustration out at them, if that makes sense. Because sometimes I'll get frustrated at my boyfriend and I'll be like, oh my god, and I'll respond in like a rude tone, which obviously I don't want to do, but of course that happens. And I just, I think about, I it'll be like a couple minutes and I'll be like, oh, why did I just act that way? Why did I have that tone? Why was I rude about that? Like, that's so annoying. And then I think about the fact that I felt like I couldn't control it at the time. And obviously this is something that I've worked on for years, and I think I've gotten so much better about this, is just not letting my anger out on anyone or letting my frustration out on anyone. Obviously it does still happen and I have slip ups sometimes, but I think I've gotten a lot better at it. I definitely think it was a lot harder for me to control when I was younger, but I just always think about how I need to keep working on that and just taking like deep breaths and not being quick to frustration or quick, because I just get so worked up about things, especially if there's something that I can't do and I feel like it's such a huge roadblock for me. And if I feel stupid, especially, that's something that I think I have a lot of trauma with, because I think I just grew up. Ugh, I don't even want to say I'm stupid because I don't think that I'm stupid. I think that I am very common sense smart, but I'm not very book smart. And that, I think I have a lot of trauma from not being very book smart growing up. And I think had, I genuinely think that I'm still undiagnosed ADHD, ADD. I don't know which one is which, but I think ADHD. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not a professional. I should have honestly just titled this podcast I'm not a professional. But anyways, I genuinely think that I have some type of undiagnosed ADHD, and that I think that has affected my learning ability ever since I was younger, because I used to never be able to focus. I think that's why I took a reading recovery class, because I would never be able to focus on reading. I always was just it was just so hard for me to learn and to pay attention and to have any retention in what I was learning or what I was reading. And it was actually so frustrating, and I had to try so hard to get good grades or to pass tests, and that followed me into college, and it was just so hard, and I had to work so hard to get good grades. And I'm proud of myself because I got really good grades in college, but freshman year I did so terrible because I had to take biology and stuff, which I actually was so bad at, and I'm pretty sure I got a D in biology in high school, so I think you can tell where that's going. I'm pretty sure I got C's in biology 1 and 2 in college, and let me tell you, I went to every study session. I got every point of extra credit that was available. I studied my mother effing ass off for weeks, honestly, for hours for those tests, and I still would get D's on all the tests, and it was so frustrating. And I just think I have a lot of stuff that revolves around that. So whenever I feel stupid, ooh, I get so frustrated, and I'm like, I want to punch myself in the head. So yeah, slay. Mental problems. Just kidding. I think we all have these problems, at least to some extent. But Anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this mini episode. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Let me know what you thought about these episodes, and if you haven't already, please press the subscribe button, the like button, and comment down below. Also, me and Sam did release our first podcast. We are going to release one a week, and it is in the link below. It's called Gossip Girls XOXO. So, bye.